Citizen scoring. It's a society where people are assigned points like in a video game. Waking up each morning to check it out to see how many points they have left just to go to work normal. Just saying one wrong sentence or taking one misstep leads to the points being deducted but in reality, the story in China is not that simple, nor as harmless as any defenders claim. It lies somewhere in between. To truly understand, we cannot view it through ordinary, but must examine it from a geographical perspective. The factor that determines why China is compelled to manage its society. So, when did China start scoring? If we talk about the official milestone, 2014 was when China announced plans to build a concept called the social credit system. Citizen scoring. Long before that, China was accustomed to managing people through records, such as household registration records, police records, tax records, bank records, and court records. The problem is that all these things are fragmented, each place holding a piece. A person might commit fraud in business in one province, but when moving to another province, they start from zero again. For a small country, that might not be serious and could be easily managed. But for China, a vast country with an extremely large population, it becomes a sea for much chaos. China needs a citizen scoring system not only because of its vast territory but also due to its China has an area of about 9.6 million square. The vastness here is not just the area on the map, but also the complexity of living regions. The east consists of coastal plains, easy to live in and do business, forming megacities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. The west is completely different, with vast plateaus, arid deserts, rugged mountainous areas, and sparse population density. This disparity alone makes China resemble many countries combined, rather than merely a normal unified nation. Its population, once the largest in the world, now ranks second after India, still over 1.4 billion people. This number is extremely large and often concentrated in coastal cities and major transportation hubs. There are strips of land that occupy only a small part of the area but bear most of the country's population and economic. Conversely, vast regions in the west have places where you might travel 100 kilometers before encountering a proper residential. This creates a country unbalanced in population density. Some places are crowded with people, while others are desolate and, in this context, hundreds of millions of Chinese people each year leave their hometowns to go elsewhere for work, study, or trade. These are not just sporadic migrations, they're massive, continuous flows of people. Some move from villages to cities and stay for many years. Some work on projects in one province today, some live in one city during the week and return to their hometown hundreds of kilometers away on weekends. This movement is so fast, dense, and frequent that the boundary between hometown and place of residence becomes blurred. This is why cities emerge that, if separated, have populations large enough to rival a medium-sized European country. Urban areas with 15 to 20 million people are not rare in China. This leads to a very important consequence. In that sea of people, an ordinary person can easily disappear if not carefully. Not disappear biologically here. Management reach if information doesn't. And in such a place, the data about people remains static, tightly tied to their hometown or a fixed locality, existing only on paper or electronic systems without proper management. The state will find it very difficult to handle. Who has committed fraud in this province? Who has evaded taxes in that city? Who has lost a lawsuit but not enforced it? Everything can disappear, change residence, change environment, and start over as if nothing ever happened. And that is precisely what haunts managers in China. For them, the issue is not about controlling costs or prior lies, but about ensuring that every person, no matter where they go, meets a sufficiently clear administrative trace is not to track every step, but so that when something happens, society does not fall into anonymity, not knowing who did it. Therefore, from this perspective, the social credit system, or what we often call citizen scoring, is not simply about scoring people, but an effort to turn a huge, populous, vast country into a manageable place. In other words, it is China's way of trying to control each individual, hoping each individual will leave a trace in a country that is too vast, too populous, and too complex. So what exactly is scoring here? China does not have a single national score for all citizens. There is no universal number applied from Beijing to Xinjiang. Instead, they operate a fragmented system by locality and sector. Some places use specific scoring scales, often starting from a default level and deducting for violations. Some places do not use scores at all, but only two statuses: trustworthy and untrustworthy. Essentially, what is being explored is not personality, morality, or ideology, but whether behaviors are legal or not. Do you comply with court rulings? Do you evade taxes? Do you commit fraud? Do you intentionally default on debts? If the answer is yes, the system records it. But if you are just an ordinary person, not involved in legal disputes, you will almost never feel the existence of this system. Interestingly, the behaviors that easily land a Chinese person on the untrustworthy list are very mundane. In other words, the deductions are very down to earth, not vague things, but specific actions. Losing a lawsuit but not enforcing the judgment, tax evasion, selling counterfeit goods, fraud, or intentionally defaulting on debts. From China's perspective, these are behaviors that break social trust. In a society where deceivers do not pay a price, law-abiding people will always be the ones that, instead of simple fines or imprisonment, China chooses a special method, which is to narrow the living space of violate. In a country where highways and aviation are the lifeblood of the socio-economy, being restricted from buying plane tickets or high-speed train tickets is not just an inconvenience, but a loss of opportunity for those with low. You find it hard to do business far away, expand connections, or access major economic centers. This is a distinctly geographical punishment without detention, just making violators unable to move freely in a place that requires constant mobility. In a country as vast as China, that is disadvantage enough. And interestingly, many Chinese people support this. In daily life, many see it as a necessary collective discipline for society to run smoothly. For them, the issue is not about being monitored or managed, but about a very practical matter. If there is nothing strong enough to bind, who will be at a disadvantage? Only the good people will be at a disadvantage. For many years, especially during China's rapid development, the rapid pace of business and competition has created an environment rife with deceit and debt evasion, where opportunistic dealings are not allowed. Sellers of counterfeit goods can change locations, debt dodgers can lose, and those who lose lawsuits can be dragged out for enforcement. In this context, those who conduct honest business often lag behind, suffer disadvantages, and are even seen as naive. Therefore, when China introduced a system capable of recording behavior over a long period and across a wide scope, many people felt reassured rather. At least they believe that wrongdoers cannot easily wipe the slate clean and start over as they might elsewhere. Additionally, Chinese history has witnessed many periods of low social trust. When laws lag behind reality and society is in turmoil, people tend to trust only personal relations, acquaintances, and family. This helps them survive, but it also makes society less fair. Thus, in the eyes of many Chinese, the social credit system with its concept is seen as an effort to replace personal trust with trust in the system. Of course, this does not mean there are no concerns about risks, but between two choices, one of chaos and the other of strict but fairer management, many Chinese have chosen the latter. For most citizens, the credit score is something they have never seen. They go to work, study, consume, and move about normally, with no app reminding those scores, nor any warning notifications about point deductions, because those who do not break the law are involved in serious issues. And the system only truly appears on legal boundaries across when lying, evading debts, dodging taxes, or doing something wrong. Otherwise, no one knows it exists. In summary, China's social credit scoring system is a product of a country with vast geography, an enormous population, and high mobility. If placed in a small, sparsely populated country with high social trust, it might be redundant. But for China, it is currently the most suitable choice. Subscribe to the Guian channel so you don't miss exciting videos. Subscribe to the Guian channel. Thank you for accompanying Haitan's story. Traveling through lands. Discovering new things. Don't hesitate, leave your feedback. And please comment.